Okay, I'm outside the Orchard housing office. There's a banner, if you can see it, it says torturous vibrations, failing in the duty of care. What this is about is since May the 15th, 2023, I've been subjected to torturous, and I'm not exaggerating, torturous vibrations through my flat. I was assigned a caseworker, a Mr. Samuel Hark. He never once made arrangements to come and see me to resolve the situation, and then time went on, and I was then told by Matthew Lucas, who I believe is the manager of the community protection team, the same team that my caseworker is in, who deal with nuisance issues, and he told me that there'd been up to one of the three adjoining flats where the vibrations must be coming from one of them, and said, and I quote, "There is nothing to investigate." Then after that, I started an official council complaints procedure to get my caseworker, Mr. Samuel Hark, to do his job. And there's the banner.
Yes,
right.
We're not taking this. We're staying here until we get satisfaction.
Yeah. So anyway, so I started up the complaints procedure to try and get my caseworker to do his job. That took a lot of doing, filling out the online forms and all that, and then you have to wait 3 months before they get back to you about what they've decided. 2 weeks after that 3 months, I still heard nothing from them, and still haven't to this day. So basically, that means that the officers are unaccountable. If the complaints procedure doesn't operate, if it's dysfunctional, then there's nothing to hold the councillors, the officers to account. So then I thought, well, I'd take it up a stage to the leader of the council, Mr. Jazz Athwal, and I sent him an email asking him the same thing. Can you please get Samuel Hark to come arrange to see me to get this vibration issue sorted out as a matter of urgency? He then sent me an email back the next day saying that the community protection team had said that there was nothing to, and I quote, nothing to investigate, and had opened a planning enforcement case. A planning enforcement case. Planning enforcement is about using premises for business purposes, or for things like when you're doing an extension and it needs to be within planning regulations. It's got absolutely nothing to do with a nuisance issue. So basically even though they said there was nothing to investigate, they said open up a planning enforcement case, which is about investigation. That is totally nonsensical. I can't even fathom what I can guess why they've done it. They're obviously kicking the case into another department, so I have to jump through another load of hoops, only to hit another brick wall, which is what I've been doing for the last over a year. This protest, by the way, was originally planned for the 1 year anniversary since the vibration started on the 23rd, 15th of May 2023. So that the protest was planned for the 15th of May, just gone, a month ago. But the day before that protest, because I made it known to officers and to the public via social media that I was going to do this protest, the day before the protest, I was phoned by a Mr. Martin Mumford of the asset management team, and yet again, a completely different department to what is appropriate, asking me not to do the protest. He said to give him time to have internal conversations in this building with other departments in the Orchard's housing office. So I said, okay, I'll postpone it for a couple of days to give you time to have the conversations. And In the meantime, I've been offered by the council an audio device, a DAT audio device to be fitted, which is totally inappropriate because it only records audio and not vibrations. They kept pushing that and pushing the idea that it was noise, even though I kept saying it wasn't noise, it was vibrations. Then Martin Mumford, Martin Mumford, yeah, from the asset management team, said that he got a contractor arranged to hire an accelerometer, right, which again is a wrong device for vibrations, that only measures things on an XY axis, i.e. movement from side to side, not from the platform or the surface it's sitting on, like a vibrometer would. So because I was given no other opportunities, either that or nothing, I agreed to it, even though I knew it was no good. And all along this has been happening for months, since middle of last year. I had found online a vibrometer for sale for £350 that was handheld. It was a simple vibrometer that you could hold with one hand and had like a microphone thing that you could hold with the other hand. But instead of a microphone, it had a concave top. So it was like it was a sensor that you could hold onto any surface and take readings. £350. I even offered to pay half that amount, £175, to get this, and the whole situation would have been resolved in a week. I could have taken regular readings around the flat, could have recorded them on my phone, sent them to the relevant officers, and I could have then used that to, as a matter of process of elimination, I could have worked out where the vibrations were coming from, you know, where they were strongest in my flat. So it would have isolated the source of the vibrations, as well as proving they're happening, right? That has been turned down all the way through for the last year or so. It's been turned down, they wouldn't do it, and yet they're prepared to pay a contractor to install for 3 days an accelerometer, which probably costs thousands of pounds, which, by the way, the taxpayer will have to front will actually, it'll come out of the taxpayers' Redbridge residents' money in the end. That's where the money comes from. So once again, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to open a plan enforcement case when they say there's nothing to investigate, and it makes no sense to not go hard with me on a vibrometer that only cost them £175 when they spent thousands of pounds hiring an accelerometer, which is a totally wrong device, equipment. It goes on, the story goes on and on like that, where there's just nonsensical things being said, nonsensical things being made, sent from one department, from the community protection team, where it should have happened, where things should still be, to planning enforcement, then to housing, then to asset management. So it's gone to 3 other departments that have absolutely nothing to do with the issue. And each time I've had to then jump through all the hoops that they've put in my way. And there's one question that I'd like to ask Matthew Lucas and Samuel Hark of the Community Protection Team. Why, if you say, as you did in your email, and I quote, there is nothing to investigate, why did you then open the planning enforcement case? Regardless of it being an inappropriate department, how could there be anything for the plan enforcement to investigate if you found yourselves, supposedly found yourselves, there was nothing to investigate? That's the question I'd like answered, that no officer, whether it's my local councillor, whether it's Jazz Asphalt, the leader of the council, whoever it is, no one out of all the departments, all the officers, have been prepared to answer that question. Okay? I've also tried my local MP, West Streeting. I got in touch with his PA, Sam Gould. Sam Gould said, I've been given by the West Streeting MP the authority to talk on his behalf. Well, I'm not satisfied with that. I want to talk to my MP, which is my right. He's our elected representative. And when I pushed him on that, he said, oh, he's fully booked. And that was it. And he started ignoring my phone calls after that. And that came to an end. So the complaints procedure dysfunctional, meaning the officers are unaccountable. The leader of the council not getting anywhere. My local councillor not getting anywhere. The complaints with the West Streeting elected representative, not getting anywhere. I was left with no other choice, but when words and writing fail and continue to fail, as that saying goes, to repeat the same thing over and over again and to expect a different result is the definition of insanity.
Staff.
That's exactly what I've been doing. I've been repeating the same thing over and over again, asking questions, writing words for over a year and getting nowhere. Well, I'm no longer prepared to engage in this definition of insanity. It's time, when words and writing fail you, that you've got nothing left but to take action. So I will keep taking action. By the way, these vibrations are so bad that I've actually even been having to sleep on my doorstep. And I've made several short videos on my YouTube channel where I showed me sleeping at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I've made short videos explaining what's happening. And I saw in my 63rd birthday on my balcony doorstep, right? Because I simply cannot stand. The vibrations are so bad that even during the evening, I can't leave my legs or my feet or my position where I'm sitting on my sofa in one position more than about 10 or 15 minutes before it becomes painful, and I have to keep changing position. The same happens when I go to bed. When I go to bed, the vibrations go through the woodwork in the bed frame and stop me sleeping. So I don't get to sleep until about 6 in the morning, when I literally conk out because I'm so tired that I conk out. So I end up with only about a few hours sleep, which means then I have to try and catch up sleep during the day. It is, in effect, my flat has been turned into a torture chamber. I'm living in a torture chamber of sorts. Well, not of sorts, it is. It's torturous what's going on with me. I hope you can see the banner. So I will carry on doing these protests because I have no other choice. That's what I keep telling all of them. I say, look, you're leaving me with no choice. I don't want to do this. I'm 63 years of age. I've got health conditions, you know, mental and physical. I've got post-traumatic stress disorder, which has also, by the way, has been used against me by Jeff Smith, the manager of housing, and one of the housing officers, who has used that, said to me I should seek advice from a medical practitioner, right? Because they said I might have tinnitus, or like asking me if the noise follows me down the road, when it's not noise, it's vibrations, and it's just insulting. I've got my career is in engineering and mechanics. I know what I'm talking about. Sorry, who are you?
I'm one of the customer service. I don't want to be on the film.
Well, I'm free to do this. It's a public space.
Okay, I won't speak to you.
Go on,
I
speak
just
to
wanted to know your address so I can have a look and see what you...
Yes.
Well, who are you?
I told you
Dave,
I
I've just been
Yeah.
speaking to them. They want to help. They want your address so
Yeah,
they
can I
look
just
into
ask
it.
your name?
My name's Jackie.
Jackie.
I'm a customer service
Have you got a
officer.
last name?
I'm a customer service
Dave,
officer.
Customer service officer for housing.
Yeah.
I've been speaking to them. They
Jackie.
want your address so that they can look into
Right,
it.
I can tell you my address.
Yeah.
It's number 11, Saxted Lodge.
I never knew that's what it was called.
Saxted Lodge, Victoria Road.
Oh, I thought it was
Is it one of the new ones, isn't it?
No, it's an old building.
Well, it's not Victoria.
Victoria Road,
It's-
E181LL. My name is David Thornton.
Yeah. What's the... What you've saying that you've had issues, but if you don't mind telling me what it is.
Well, I've just been
Or
through
just
it.
a brief...
Right, what it is since May the 15th of 2023, last year, I started getting these really serious vibrations going through my flat.
Yeah.
Right, I mean, they were really serious. I mean, they're not quite so bad now. I think whoever's doing it has deadened it in some way, pushing the vibrations. But after it's been going on for so long,
it's definitely the flat
you
upstairs.
become sensitised to it. So even though they're not as bad, I feel them, and they're you know,
If you touch the wall, you can feel the vibration.
yeah. And sometimes
Nobody's been round? No housing officers been round?
I've had Jeff Smith, the manager of
He's
housing.
one of the senior guys.
Yeah, well, he's the manager of housing. He came round the other day.
Yeah.
He came round the day when I originally planned the protest. which was going to be on the year anniversary of when it started, which would be on the 15th of May, just gone, yeah? And then the day before that, I was rung by Martin Mumford from the asset management team, asking me not to, because I made it public that I was going to do this protest, right? I emailed officers and whatever. And he phoned me the day before I was planning to do the protest on his private phone, asking me not to do the protest, right? And said that give him a chance to have some internal conversations. So I said, okay, fair enough. I'll give you, yeah. So since then it's been a month, but originally I was only going to a couple of days, but I gave him a month. And but the day after he phoned me, the day before the protest, and on the day of the protest, Jeff Smith, the manager of housing, came round to my flat when he didn't need to see me at all. All he needed to do is see the adjoining flats, right? People in the adjoining flats. But he came to my flat and used the opportunity.
Well, it's not the adjoining flat, it's definitely the one upstairs.
Well, I think it's from the flat upstairs, but I don't want to specify at this moment. There's 3 adjoining flats that he should have checked. He didn't need even to talk to me because he knew my situation, right? But he asked to come in my flat, and I thought, okay, I'll be accommodating. So I let him in my flat, and he proceeded then to look round and pick fault in my flat, saying I wasn't keeping it up properly, right? And he said the walls are dirty, you've got he pointed to a little cobweb I had between my fridge and my wall. He said, look, you've got cobwebs, and he said, your walls are dirty. And I said, well, give me an example. And he pointed to a little strip of wall by the side of my door that looks dirty. It only looks dirty because I've got black mould all the way around my door, and I keep washing it off and paint over it, and it comes through, so it looks dirty all the time. And that was the example he gave. And he didn't mention anything about all the black mould that it was obvious all around there and in the bathroom and in the kitchen. He never mentioned any of that.
But the main concern is obviously.
So he was making it about me. He was trying to change it. Use that day that I was going to do the protest to make it about. To basically pick on me, make it about me.
And we had a guy around, and he said the noise and the vibrations. He said it's consistent with the equipment used in growing hydroponic skunks.
Yes, what they probably need to do some more investigation in terms of what they think it is.
Apparently someone knocked on his
Well,
door.
Jeff Smith said.
They'd have to get in touch with the police, really, for the police to gain
I don't want to
access.
get the police involved. I don't want to get the police involved
The
because.
thing is, they're going to have to gain access in order to.
No, they don't.
No,
Because they don't. Please, they don't because the person. Right, there's only 3 flats adjoining my flat, right, where the vibrations are coming from. The next door neighbour, who I'm friends with and I visit him often, so I know it's not there. The flat below, they're rarely there. They only come once every few months. A family, they're away most of the time, so they're not there. So there's only one flat, and that's the flat above me. And the person in the flat above me has been very hostile towards me, has threatened me seriously on a few occasions.
Do you know what number that is?
Number 18. And
you got a hostile result of one of your people knocking on the door and asking about this.
And Jeff Smith said that when he came round, to supposedly check the adjoining flats, but actually inspected my flat, he said that he went up to the flat above me, and the partner of the person who lived there opened the door, and I said, did you check the flat? He said, well, I could see from the doorstep that it was okay. I said, well, how can you tell from the doorstep? You've got to go in the flat. He said, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them a letter to arrange to visit, have a proper visit, right? But the point is that both the previous housing officers, Jane Tussanoglu, who was there for, she'd been there for years and years, right?
30 years.
Yeah, she'd left, and her replacement, Leah Brooks, who only lasted about a few months, right? They, sorry, I forgot what I was talking about now. No, Colin, please, don't distract me.
Let me go and
It was
have a
after
look.
your visit to the guy upstairs. It was after that he became hostile and threatening.
Right,
To
so
the point where he's rattling his door.
They
That's why he
even
doesn't want the
tried to
police involved.
get my door. Now I have to double lock my door.
Yes. That's why
Right.
he doesn't want
But
the
anyway,
police,
Jeff
because
Smith
it could
said
be dangerous.
Jeff Smith said he had, when he was meant to be inspecting checking the adjoining flats, and he didn't get into the flat above, only at the doorstep. And he said he needs to he said, I need to send a letter. He sent me to an email. He said, I need to send a letter to him to arrange a visit. And I sent an email back saying, well, you don't need to send a letter because the council have his phone number on record. And I know that because Jane Tussanoglu and Leah Brooks both phoned him to tell him to not approach me anymore because of the threats he'd been made towards me. So there was no need to even send him a letter. He could have phoned him before he'd even...
Everybody does their things, everyone does their things differently.
So, but it's on the record. His phone number, the flat above me, is
I'm
on
going to have a look
record.
on the system now and see what's been put on there. Jeff's not in this afternoon. I think he's out on visits.
Yeah, but I don't, to be honest, after his visit to my flat, I don't want to
Yeah.
anything
But
to do
by
with him.
doing this, what is it that you're trying to achieve? That's
Well, what I'm trying to achieve is that I've
Your
spent
promises.
I spent over a year
yeah.
trying every official council channel. I even went through, like, first off, it started with me being assigned a caseworker by the Community Protection Team, a Mr. Samuel Harp, right?
I don't know. He's probably based
Right.
at Linton.
Right, anyway, that's who I was assigned. He never once come to see me to resolve it, so I went through an official complaints, council complaints process, which takes 3 months, plus all the filling out of forms online. After 3 months, then 2 weeks after that, I've got nothing from him, no communication, not even to say whether I upheld the
Yeah,
complaint
but
or not.
the main
Right? No,
factor is-
please. So
No, but I mean,
basically,
I've got to get back into
okay,
work,
I just want to say quickly.
Yeah.
So basically, I was left with a situation where I can't hold the people who are meant to be doing their job to account because the complaints procedure is not working. It's dysfunctional,
So
or at least in
at
my
the end
case
of
it
all
was.
this, like I said,
So I was left with no choice but to
Yeah.
take action. I've tried words and writing for over a year. It's got me nowhere. Right, so I'm left with no choice but to take action and publicise it on social media, on the local social media next door, on Twitter, Facebook, wherever, local
please
papers.
do not put me on there because I've only popped out just to see.
No, no,
if
not
I
you.
can help.
No.
Can I contribute one thing? You asked what we'd like. Someone should go in his practice and identify the machine that's causing these vibrations day and night. You know,
I can't do it.
I just
I'll
had a
have to
problem.
speak to Jeff. I'll have to speak to Jeff and see what action he's going to
And you might
take.
mention to him there's only one Dave, but there's lots of names.
Yeah, but Jeff, it's been a month now since he was meant to send a letter to this person to
I know
rebut
he
me,
was on annual leave.
and I asked him. I sent an email saying, well, you're going to send a letter. Can you please tell me when you find out the date of when you're going to go around and visit him, so I can check if the vibrations lessen or stop, so I can make a record if there's any change when you visit him.
Did they
Right?
give you a?
And
Did they give you
and
a?
since I sent that email,
lot to fill out?
asking him to let me know when he's going to visit the flat above, I've had no communication with him whatsoever for the last month.
Just as your question, did they give you a log?
Yeah, no. Normally there's a.
Did you get one of those down?
And then basically you've got to literally keep a record days, times, what the situation is, and then once you do that, because then you've got something physical, paperwork, that we can log on the system.
Yeah, well,
they give you
I'm
that?
sorry, it's gone beyond
No, I'm
writing
just
words.
asking if you did ever do one of those.
No, I didn't do an antisocial because I've looked up antisocial and it's more about people. The categories they gave in antisocial didn't really cover what's happening to me, so it didn't seem appropriate.
When Jeff comes in, if he comes back in this afternoon, I'll let you know. Well, if he comes in, he can probably see you after.
But what I'd like to know, one question I'd like to know that no officer has been able to give me an answer to. Why did the Community Protection Team
That I can't.
send me an email saying that they'd found there was nothing to investigate, even though I only tried one
I'd have to
property,
speak to
right?
because I don't know anything.
They found there was nothing to investigate, and yet then open up a planning enforcement case, which is a completely inappropriate department.
That is very strange.
And why would
That's
they
above
open why would they
my-
open a planning
above my
enforcement case that would
remit.
take
I
an
can't
investigation when they already
That is a good
decided
question.
when they already decided that there was nothing to investigate?
Yeah, but I can't answer that.
No, but no one will answer it. That's my problem.
All right then.
Until someone answers that, I don't see how we can go forward. But I will go into West Streeting's office next time, and I'll be back here next week if nothing happens. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm getting the whole banner in or not. Oh. Yeah, I am now, yeah. Right, that shows the whole banner. And there's the housing office. So I'm not used to this. Sorry people, I'm not used to using these selfie sticks. So you have to bear with me. And we're not going to be here long. We just wanted to make a point and do a short video and let people in this office know that I'm not just going to leave it. It's, you know, I've got to take action because I'm left with no other choice. They're leaving me with no other choice. It's either that or I've actually been sleeping on my doorstep. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see all the shorts I've made of me sleeping on my doorstep. It's under the name of Dave 3, the number 3, so it's DAVE 3 at Kaya Rose. That's KIYAROSE at Kaya Rose. I don't know which one you have to look up to find a channel. I'm not really that familiar with YouTube, how it works. But anyway, that's if you want to find the other videos I've made about this. Me sleeping on my balcony. I've had to sleep in the forest on occasions. I've had to sleep around people's sofas. It's just unbearable to sleep in my flat much of the time. It causes me sleep deprivation, causes my mental health to deteriorate, which is stopping me from reducing my medications the doctor wants me to reduce, but I can't because this is impacting my mental health so much. So until I get this sorted, I can't reduce the medications my doctor wants me to reduce because she's worried about being addictive. It just goes on and on. It's all compounding. One thing compounds onto another. And all we need at the end of the day is this £350 vibrometer, and the whole situation could be resolved like that within a week. I could take recordings of the vibration, of the readings from the vibrometer from various parts in the flat each night, and email them to all the relevant officers, and done. And I'd even pay half towards the vibrometer. I'd even pay, so all the council got to pay is £175. They must have spent, God knows, maybe 100 times more than that already in the last year, just in wasted wage time. Like, just all the time they spent moving it from one department to another, talking to me, emailing me, all the time they've spent. You've had that in wages. It's much more than like 175 quid, on top of the fact that they've paid to hire an accelerometer, which is totally inappropriate. That probably came to thousands to hire that for 3 days. Why would they do that when all they've got to spend is 175 quid and resolve the situation in a week? It's nonsensical. Just as it's nonsensical for the community protection team to open up a planning enforcement case when they've already said in their own, and I quote, there is nothing to investigate, because they supposedly went to one of the 3 adjoining properties and found there was nothing to investigate, right? And then when they was pressured by Jazz Athwal through me, they said they opened up a planning enforcement case, which they did. And next thing you know, I had their officers coming round, which is all, obviously total rubbish because it's nothing to do with planning enforcement. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling on. Take care, and please share this, and please keep an eye on my YouTube channel, on Nextdoor social media for this. And I would appreciate anyone's support. If you want to support, whether it's driving past in a car, give me a beep. Because I will be posting dates of when I do the next protest, whether it's at West Street into constituency office or whether it's here. It'll be sometime next week. So I've got a couple of appointments in the next before the weekend and just after the weekend. So sometime next week I'll be doing another protest here and or at West Street into constituency office. And I would appreciate any support, whether it's you standing there having a chat with me, walking by and putting a thumb up, or bibbing your hooter. Any support would be very much welcomed. I live in a community of people in a housing block where I get on with everyone. I was born and raised on council estate in East London, in the Docklands. I've lived most of my life on council estates. I've spent 35 years in Redbridge, and I've lived on Buttery Flats, I've lived on Tiptree, I've lived on Empress Avenue, and I've never once before had any problems at all where I've had to involve any authorities of any type. This is unique. And the first time I do have to involve the authorities, I'm given all this, what I've explained, all this aggro. Anyway, I'm signing off now. See you later.